Hello and welcome all to the Solo Doom Guide. Before we get started, please note that I will be doing this all in one take, so there may be things I've missed, maybe things that could be incorrect. I have zero script except for the one that I'm reading right now, so mostly for the whole video I'll be going off memory and vibes. I did an entire stream already doing this because the live stream was like such a mess. I decided to, and I just can't fix up the errors that I made on live stream, I decided to just film this instead and film a completely separate video for my YouTube. But otherwise, if you wish to see the live stream version instead, links will be in the description below. Otherwise, please enjoy this cleaner version of a rough guide that will help you on your learning journey. This will only be focusing on solo Doom mode instead of party mode at all. I will refrain from mentioning anything regarding normal mode, unlike I did on my last stream, and because I want to avoid confusion. Doing Doom with a party will be completely different, so if you wish to learn that and see what that's like, please refer to a different video guide that I've also made that I will also link in the description as well. Otherwise, thank you, enjoy the video. And here we are. Welcome. So there's going to be a lot that we're going to cover today, but we're going to cover the full majority of solo Doom mode now that it's fully out. This is for people that are new, returning, or have, they've never tried it before, and I'm going to try and explain all the basics and major mechs, as well as referring back to a document as well. So I'm going to explain the best that I can, but otherwise, before we get started, first you're going to need to prep. So some of the major things you're going to need before you end up even starting to going into it is buffing up. So the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is get Gate of Darkness. Very important. It's such a minor buff, but you're going to need every single buff you can get. If you're just kind of barely reaching the CP limit, you're going to get every little buff that you can even get for yourself. So we're going to quickly do that first. Make sure we run over here. Destroy that. Pretty simple. Can't go wrong with that. Now, I will be doing this on my main, but I'll still try and go through it slowly. I'm doing this personally on my main, which is very overpowered, just so I can explain things more easier, because I know how to play my character, so I won't get too distracted. But otherwise, you're going to prepare yourself by getting Gate of Darkness buff. You're also going to refresh your party's raid resolve, so you can just buy it if you want, or wait for it to actually finish, and that's going to give you more adaptation and damage to the boss. And then something you can put on top is elixirs. If you have elixirs, you could have a giant elixir if you wanted, a speed one. If you have these adaptation elixirs, you can raise your adaptation and try and reach that sweet 30 spots. Ideally, you want to try and reach 30, my gosh, 60%. You want to try and reach 60%. Otherwise, you can use like dessert platters from guild buffs as well. In this case, I'm actually going to use a heavenly dessert platter to up my damage a bit more. Something else that is also very necessary is fighter potions. This gives you 30% more attack power. You definitely need this. You cannot go without it. Even at my level, it's something I will always use as well. Something that you may also need, because Doom Raid is so tanky, everything hurts, everything genuinely hurts, so you gotta want to bring what we call GSAs, or giant stone apples, and this gives you super armor, damage reduction, and just better jump speed. But the thing is, you have to use it every 30 seconds. For some of the more end game, the end dungeons, like 3, 4, and 5, you are definitely going to need them. Maybe you might not need them for 1 and 2. For this case, I won't use them for 1 and 2, but you definitely need them for 3, 4, and 5, because everything will knock you around, knock you over, or kill you in one shot. So you definitely need the damage reduction. It's something I'd recommend. But otherwise, these will take up a lot on your buff bar, because you may not have like a pet auto consume like me. You'll end up sacrificing probably like 3 different slots on your buff bar just for this. You're also going to need wind orbs, because that just makes things so much easier for you to shred through. So I definitely recommend getting that. So you're going to start on your Concerto buff, your Freed Shadow buff, the buffs that you awaken with to help you first, and then we're just going to go straight for it. There's 5 different dungeons here, and we'll start with the first one, Cornerstone of Prophecy. Now, for any mechs that I don't explain fully, I will wait till the end of the dungeon, and I will backtrack and talk about them and explain them after the dungeon, because there's some things that I will not be able to fully explain. So as you arrive, this is the first thing you will be reached with. You'll be reached with this electrical current, and all you have to do is stand right in this spot right below it, and that finishes the mech. Quite simple. So that's literally it. And you'll move on to the next stage. Now, I don't have Awakening. Quite unfortunate. But that's okay because I have apples. So you're going to be greeted by the boss in the very middle. Mostly you're going to iframe his attacks by just spamming your skills so the attacks go right through you. You are ideally dodging his attacks because if you keep getting hit by his attacks, this guard level's going to go up, and every time it hits one of these notches, it's going to make life more difficult. Okay, this is the first mech at 140. You see this light? This is where the boss is going to appear. It's going to light up 2 different areas, so he's going to appear on this gate and this gate. The first gate you see, oops, he's going to appear. Stand on it, get eaten. There's a Knight Emperor that's going to throw an orb and save you. Now we have this symbol. This symbol is what... We don't want to get hit by the second one. Don't get eaten by the second one. Because you could end up dying. Anyway, now that we have this symbol, we're looking for a shape. So the shape's all the way over here. It's going to be on one of the gates, and you need to destroy that shape with the symbol. I apologize, this is going pretty fast paced. I might actually change my weapon so I'm not doing as much damage. Might be a bit better. So we're going to awaken. Now that we've done that mech, we're gonna... Oh, now I'm doing so much less damage. That's fine. That's perfect. Anyway, you have a good, decent, like, 5 to 10 seconds to do a bit of damage for him. The next threshold is going to be at around 70 or 76 bars. He can appear from any one of these gates. Every time he disappears, there's a gate up here, there's gates down here. Oopsie. Ooh, you don't want to get hit by his attacks, like I just did. Still continue to iframe them. You don't want to, like, even like things like this, you don't want to get hit by those pulses or anything, because then it just raises the guard level more. Oh, it's 80 bars. Okay, so this is the other major mech, which is called Gas Leak. So you are looking at your debuffs. Every time you go in this gas, you're going to lose HP, so please don't die. But you're looking for this kind of safe cloud. Okay, this cloud doesn't actually get your HP down, and that means this entire side is safe. Okay, because otherwise when he smashes down like that, you want to be on the correct safe side. There's gas on the other side, so you want to be on the correct side where there's the safe gas. So it's actually, oh, there we go. Immediately it's on this safe side. Okay. So even if I checked all of these and all of these had the skull debuff, I don't have to look for the safe debuff. I just need to stay on this side because I know that it's not on the other side. It's on this side. So sometimes you don't even have to find the safe debuff. As long as you know what side it's going to be on. You're going to have 3 rounds of this. So we have one more round where we're looking for it. Evil, evil, evil. So it's not on this side. So I don't even have to look for it because I know that that debuff is not on the left side. So this side's safe. So I don't even have to look. But I can look for it if I like. But otherwise I'm still safe. There you go. There it is. But you're going to have 3 rounds of that. And then we're done. And then he's going to show back up at the bottom. He's always going to show up in the middle again. And now that he's down, we can do some extra damage. I won't kill him though, I'll let him disappear just to see where he shows up next, because he could show up down here, he could show up here, he could show up up here as well. So let's see. But you can always follow the boss monster icon, wherever that says, just to see where he goes. But yeah, literally he only does these 2 basic attacks, like the pulsing as well as the roaring kind of thing, if you do not get the guard level up. So yeah, ideally just, you can keep away even, just avoid getting hit, otherwise it's going to be pretty simple for you. And then yeah, that's your first phase done. Pretty easy. Sometimes the longest things can be the mechs with these dungeons, as well as the cutscenes. Okay, moving on to this one. This is Barcat, phase 2. She has a couple of things that she repeats, but otherwise it's not overly hard. So follow my lead, trust me. We're gonna just kind of hang around just to see what her basic attacks are. She's gonna do 2 swipes and then send off a flame. You don't want to be in the way of that, that hurts. So just dodge that. You can just go on the other side of her. Pretty simple. She's not gonna switch or anything. She's not gonna like pull a fast one on you. So pretty simple. She does this kind of wingspan attack, yep, where she hits with her wings and then puts them down. That can hurt a tiny bit, definitely with the lasers there. But yeah, this is called Medusa. She's gonna show an eye, and either if it's an open eye, you have to look at her. If it's a closed eye, you have to look away from her. If you don't, it's going to hurt, and it is also going to summon some shadow hand under you, which I will show you that. I will show you what happens with that actually. So we'll kind of just mess with her so we can let that happen, so you can see the consequences if you end up failing that. La 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 la. Okay, so I'm meant to look away, but I'm gonna look at her just to see the consequences. Boom, ow, it hurts, and then also this shadow head's gonna summon, so you have to make sure you immediately jump out of the way because it's gonna summon right under you. I don't recommend failing that, so definitely pay attention to that. Ow. You ideally don't want to get hit too much as well, or you could end up being frozen upon reaching the max stacks as well, but you will just unfreeze because it's solo mode. Anyway, we're gonna do some damage to her to reach our first threshold, which I do not remember the HP. We'll find out together. But that's her basic attack so far. So 176 is going to be our first threshold. Okay, so this one is called lasers. This one can be hard to understand at first, but there's a couple of ways to tell this. The way that I tell is by looking at this border. If this border flashes black, that means you are safe with the black hands. If it's blue like this, you are safe with the blue ones, so you got to avoid these black ones. Okay? That's the best way to describe it. Otherwise, you can also refer to, there's also buff icons as well. I will go back and explain that after the dungeon, because that does go very fast, but there's 3 waves of that you have to clear. If you get hit by them, it's going to hurt you a lot. You'll probably end up dying, but you can use a res title through them once. Some of these mechs you can't use a res title through, so you definitely have to be careful. You can't rely on that. You actually have to do the mechs. Okay, at 100 bars, you're going to do what we call red light, green light. So you're going to keep going. If those eyes open in the background, you have to stop. Sometimes it's best to just stop early. If you get frozen, it's a raid wipe. You're going to wipe, so you can't be caught. Okay, but ideally, you're just trying to slowly reach Barcat, and you're going to hit her. You're going to hit her out of her mech here. Okay, but you don't want to get caught by the eyes in the background. Very simple though, very simple, just red light, green light. And then she's going to be groggy for a bit, for a good like 6 seconds, so we're going to go through her. We got another Medusa looking at her, so we don't have to move. Still the same basic attacks, so it's pretty simple to watch her. I recommend having low transparency for your skills, just so you can pay attention to the boss's skills so much better. You don't want your skills to be in the way because you definitely want to always pay attention to what the boss is doing. At 26 bars, you're going to move on to the last final phase. This is a timed phase. You need to kill her within a minute. Otherwise, it's going to be a wipe. A minute 30, sorry. So if you actually pump this up, you're going to get extra time on this timer. Most people don't really worry about that, and they just kind of go to her. And just start attacking her instead. So you can you can actually go to her and discharge her as well. Okay, when you get this eye, she's going to shoot a shadow hand at you, dodge it, see, like that. That will hurt you a lot. But yeah, basically this is a race to kill her. But otherwise it's pretty simple. All she really does is just shoot shadow hands at you, just don't let her hit you. Just letting my cat out. But yeah, pretty simple. Roughly, most of the time it will take you between probably, as far as I'm aware, it takes most people between 6 to 10 minutes. It kind of depends on your own power, but since time doesn't really matter since we're mostly just going through it all. So I'll kind of gloss over real quick the things that I couldn't explain fully. This is a Doom Aporia Raid Guide, really good source. I will also link this in the description below. Most of this is for party, so I'm just going to explain the solo mode though for it. So ignore all the very detailed stuff, but they have pictures and stuff so I can explain things. But yeah, so for example, this map, these X's, this is how the main map is for the first phase. There's these what's it called? These gates where the boss is hiding. There's 5 of them here, but the main ones when you're actually fighting the boss is here, these 3 here on the top and the 3 down the bottom. But yeah, so the main thing I wanted to explain is down here, not there, here. So these are the buffs. These are how the buff icons look, but I still think it's so much easier to identify when you are actually looking at the border. So for this example, this person has, they would have a blue border. They have this purple buff, which is the blue border. So if they stand in this, on this blue laser, they are safe. Okay, they're avoiding these black lasers, but it would be the opposite, it would be the complete opposite if you have a red buff and you have a black border. Then you are avoiding the white lasers, and you're looking for the one space that doesn't have a white laser. It's a bit confusing at first, but definitely scroll back on this video to actually see how I'm doing it after this explanation, and hopefully it helps. Do a couple of rewatches, you can always refer back to things. But yeah, that's basically it for the first dungeon. It's decently straightforward and not overly complicated, I hope. But if there's any questions, please leave a comment, let me know. I'm happy to answer anything that I can. Anyway, we'll move on to the next dungeon before we lose buffs. This one can be quite confusing. The one thing confusing about this is the fact that, definitely with phase 2, it has a lot of different rooms. I will have to explain this afterwards as well, but I will try and explain it the best I can. So we'll just enter it first, and I'll do the best I can explaining every little bit. Okay, so the main gimmick, the main starter gimmick about this dungeon for the first and second phase is that if you reach 10 stacks of getting hit, you will end up in the back rooms. For the first phase, if you end up in the back rooms, it is going to be like a little mini game where you have to grab an orb. I will showcase that, but in the second one, it's a bit different. Anyway, so he's mostly just going to swing a sword and slap you. It can be quite annoying. I don't recommend getting hit by the tip of it. It hurts. Ouchie. But yeah, otherwise you're going to keep getting these kind of fields, and every time these zones, and every time you create a zone, it's going to summon platforms. This is much more important for further mechs later on. Our first threshold won't be until 220 bars, if I remember correctly. But otherwise, yeah, it doesn't really matter where you kind of place these. Grab that orb. That's fine. So already I have 8 stacks. I will show you what that looks like. Run away from that. He's just sucking you in. I'll show you what it looks like when you end up actually getting kidnapped though. So I'm just going to get hit again on purpose. Ooh, ouchie. Nope, that didn't work. This one is just, don't use any skills. Don't touch anything. Hide, like hug him. Otherwise you'll die. I might not. Yeah, I've already reached the threshold. That's okay. Okay, so for this threshold, he's going to disappear up to the upper floor. There's going to be all these zones that appear, and you are trying to, oopsie. Okay, so that's a spectator. These things, you have to damage. They only appear when zones appear. Anyway, you're trying to get up here, use your zone to make the platforms appear, and go through this teleporter to reach him. You want to go on that safe zone. This safe zone here. Otherwise, you're going to die. So it's a race to reach up to the safe zone. But yeah, back to that spectator. Those spectators are going to be invisible, and every time you get hit by their orbs, it's going to give you debuffs to end up in the back room. So you don't want that. They only appear with safe zones though, otherwise they're invisible. So you want to kill them with the safe zones. Anyway, he's going to be groggy. At 150 bars is going to be his next threshold, and he's going to teleport back down. So we'll get him to teleport back down. And we're going to fall down as well. And we're going to try and find the next safe zone. So it can either be on the left side or the right side. It's on the left side for us. So we're going to come up here. There's no platform, so we're going to place our zone. And it's going to reveal the platforms to us. We don't have a whole lot of time to do this, so you got to kind of hurry. So that's why I don't have time to explain it fully. Anyway. Maybe I had more time than I thought still, but doing pretty well. Okay. And there we go. He's going to be groggy again. So we have time to attack. I'm going to try not to do too much damage because I still want to... For science reasons, I still want to end up in the back rooms. Ow. Get in. Okay, maybe it's when you get hit by his soul orb kind of things, not by his sword. I don't usually, like, get in the back room, so I don't fully know how that works. Probably maybe by this orb as well. But you can't exactly just dodge this orb. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Okay, now we're in the back rooms. So you're going for here, and you want to grab this orb, otherwise you can't exit, and then exit. That's really it. Ow. I immediately get sorted. Okay, so the next threshold is going to be at 75 bars. 76. Close enough. Okay, so this is, I don't know what the name of this is, but basically, he's gonna pulse 4 times in total. The number of orbs is how many times you need to get hit by that pulse. So for example, if there was only 2 orbs here, I would get hit 2 times and get 2 debuffs, because every time you get hit, you get a debuff. I want to get 2 debuffs, and then I'm gonna press my F1 to summon a spectre to take my place, and then you're gonna run away, okay? Unfortunately, I got 4 orbs, so I can't show you the other way. Oopsie. But yeah, you only want to get the amount of debuffs the same as the amount of orbs that he has, okay? Otherwise, you're gonna die. It's gonna be an instant death if you don't have the correct amount of debuffs. But otherwise, someone needs to get hit. So that's why you have an F1, or in my case, a number 0. I have a numpad 0, because that's what my F1 is. You want to F1 that spectre to take your place, okay? Because someone needs to get hit in your place. So that's why he exists. Anyway, moving on to the second phase. This one you definitely don't want to be hit, but it's very easy to dodge him. All he does is lift up his hand and do 2 swipes and then 1 big swipe. That's it. Okay? If you get hit 10 times, you're going to end up in the back rooms. And usually in a party, you'll be like frozen and someone needs to save you. But in Doom, you suffer no repercussions. You just have to come back to the boss room. But ideally, don't get hit. Just dodge him. This is why you need to have your skills on low transparency. He also summons... Yeah, sorry. He also summons, like, circles below you that can get you hits. That can, you know, give you more stacks as well. Don't do that. Don't get hit by those as well. So always watch his arm get raised. You have enough time to, like, go behind him if you have a skill that goes behind him as well. But yeah, he'll always hit you wherever you are. And always keep an eye on the floor as well. Otherwise, he has 3 major mechs. You mostly just, you can also just keep your distance. But if you stay too far away from him, he's just going to summon some souls. He'll teleport to you, or he will damage you from afar. So that's what he'll do, this attack here. Okay? So you want to stay close to him, ideally. Okay? But otherwise, yeah, he mostly just does uppercuts as well as lift his arm and then swipe. So he's pretty simple. There we go. But yeah, every time you get hit, you're gonna get a stack. I don't have any stacks right now because I'm awesome. Anyway, so here's our first mech. So this is what we call escape. Or I don't know what we call it, but there's, okay, so this is where everyone gets confused. There's 3 different rooms and they have different symbols, okay, but all these rooms kind of look the same. So I'm in the green room, so there's 2 teleporters here. So ideally for this mech, go through one of these teleporters. You're mostly finding one of these rooms that has a teleporter in the middle, okay? Remember which rooms you visit because sometimes you might end up going in circles. So try and remember where you've been, okay? So I've been in the green room and I went left. Okay, I'm gonna go through here. Oh, there's a teleporter. But just for science reasons, we're gonna skip that, okay? We're gonna keep on going. Okay, so now I'm in the yellow room. So I know that yellow right is an exit. There's sometimes gonna be multiple exits. So if I go yellow left, oh, that's also an exit. It's in a green room. It's in the back rooms of a green room. So there's multiple exits that you can end up taking. Let's say that these rooms did not take you through an exit. Then you can come up here. Then you can come up here and go through one of these, and you can go into the next room, and maybe it will take you to an exit. Okay, but I'm running out of time, so I'm gonna go back through. Oh gosh, if I can make it up there, I'm gonna go back through those timers, through those portals, because I'm not gonna go around in circles. Oh shit. Oh no! Now I'm going in circles. Okay, I'm gonna die. So this can happen. All the teleporters are randomized. So, yep. I should have just went for the portal when I first seen it. It's a wipe if you don't do it. But otherwise you still have free reses, so it's not like game over. That's fine. But, you know, that happens. Error. Anyway, if you clear that mech, he's gonna end up groggy. Remember, keep an eye on the floor. And keep an eye on every time he raises his hand, because then you want to go behind him again. I'm not using fighter potions. I probably should put them back on, actually. I'm actually doing pretty good damage for an IDR weapon. Okay. Anyway, your next mech is going to be soul orbs. So you are going to get a number from 1 to 6, okay? So these rooms are now in the normal order, okay? So when you go through you're going to go through the top portal and you're going to end up in the center green room. The center room is green. This room on the left, if I go all the way up the stairs and onto the left, I'm going to end up in this same room, but it's going to be the pink room. If I go all the way to the right and up there, I'm going to go to the yellow room. Numbers 1 and 2 go into the pink room on the far left. 3 and 4 go to the middle room, and they're going to go in the middle portals. Numbers 5 and 6 go all the way to the right room, and this is in the yellow room, sorry. Okay, and I'm looking for an orb. There's no orb there, so I'm going to go into this center room, and I'm going to end up in the yellow center room. And so I am looking for an orb. So the other portals are already placed for me, but I'm looking for this orb, and I want to place on the opposite side of this portal, on the opposite side of this orb. Okay, so I'm going to place my portal. I can place it there, or I can place it over here. Okay? And this is what's going to happen. He's going to throw an orb, and it goes through portal 0. So this is room 1, the pink room. It's going to go through portal 1. It's going to grab that orb, it's going to go through portal 2, and then like I said, the numbers 3 and 4 are in the green room, so we're in the green room, 3, and it's going to go through to 4, you see the pattern here? And now it's going to go through number 5, and here I am, in the yellow room, and number 6, and it's going to go through 6 to 7, and it's going to hit him in the back. That's how you do it. There you go. If you end up stuffing it up, it's going to be another wipe, it's going to be another fail, you're going to die. But you can just always res again, so that's okay. I keep saying you're gonna wipe and fail, but I don't think you can fail. I think you can only die because it's solo mode. You only wipe completely and fail if you run out of reses, but because it's solo mode, I think it's much more forgiving. I actually haven't like fully wiped yet though. I've lost all my reses, but I don't know if any mechs will give you like a complete wipe. I think you can still res, but usually you can't do that in normal. Anyway, at 76 bars, you are going to play a game of Spot the Difference. So you are going to appear in the center room, and the game's going to tell you what furniture and stuff is in the left room and the right room. So you're going to head up to the left at the very top here, and you're going to just kind of mix match. You're going to match with what you see. You have 2 minutes to find the difference. It could be in any of the rooms. So we're going to check empty, empty, empty. Empty, empty, empty spot. Yep. Pot, pot, pot. Yep. Mirror, mirror, mirror. Yep. Next room. This should be empty, empty, empty. There's a clock here. Clock, clock. Over here. Up. That says lamp, lamp. And we have a chair. So here's our difference. If I activate that, that should clear it. Sometimes the difference could be in one of the left rooms or the right room. So that chair could be in the left room. Then I would end up going to the left room. I'd end up going up those stairs and through that portal. And I would grab the chair. I would tick that chair in the left room. It could be in the right room as well, it could be anywhere, but it's only one difference that you have to identify to clear the mech. Pretty fun, honestly. It can take a while, so they give you a generous 2 minutes to try and find the difference and then go after it. Sometimes you'll be lucky and it will be in the same room, sometimes it might not. Because I went through that decently fast, I didn't actually go through any of the other kind of basic mechs that he has. He does have timed mechs as well, but otherwise the only timed mechs that you'll really see are also pretty simple to understand, but I can explain those. Anyway, on average it should maybe take you like 10 minutes to do that one. Let's go back to the documents and see what I can explain. Okay, so we'll go back to here. Okay. So yeah, we already did all the basic mechs in, I did actually go over all the basic mechs in the, I did get all the basic mechs in the first phase though, like the, vacuum, the one where the screen wipe where you don't use any skills, yeah, I did get all those basic ones. Okay, so this is how the map, this looks very confusing, so don't be intimidated by this map, but this is, basically how the map looks like. Okay, so here, on phase 2, this is where you'll be, this is the boss room here. Okay, so you'll start with the boss in here, and you go up for any of the mechs. You will go up through this middle teleporter, and you will immediately end up in this center room. Okay, so all these rooms have the same layout. The only difference is that they have symbols in the background in the very center, so you can tell what room you're in. So if you take any of the teleporters here in the middle of these rooms, you will end up in a room that is very similar to the boss room, but it's this room below. But then if you take the center teleporter, you'll just end up back in the boss room, if that makes sense. So for example, if I take the teleporter here, I'll end up in the green center room. But if I go up these stairs and to this left one up here, I'll end up in this pink room. And then if I take the middle ones there, I'm going to end up down here in the pink middle center room. But then I can use teleporters on the far left or far right to go back up to that room, or I can take the middle teleporter to go back to the boss room. It seems confusing, but kind of give yourself time. But hopefully that's good enough. This is how people identify it though. Pink, green, yellow, left, middle, right. But yeah. Anyway, so the only mechs that you guys did not see is there's this, people call this petals. So basically there's going to be one side, these are timed mechs. If you are just hanging with the boss for too long and you don't end up hitting the, normal timed, the HP thresholds fast enough. So this one is petals where you will see petals on one side and no petals on the other side. The side with no petals is the safe spot. So you want to be on, it's going to happen 3 times. There's 3 waves, but yeah, that entire side is safe that you want to be on. Otherwise you're going to probably kill yourself if you're on the side of the petals. Pretty simple. There's a spider web mechanic where basically it will show you these waves and you have to kind of dodge. And I haven't seen this yet in solo mode, I have not, but I'm assuming it still happens. Maybe not, but I assume it would. Basically just go in the safe spots of the spider web, avoid these dark areas. Pretty simple. It would do 3 waves of that. Otherwise, I think I went through absolutely everything else. Okay, on to the next one. Okay. Now, you know how I was saying about GSAs being a must? Still definitely a must. So I'm gonna actually put those on because this is definitely going to hurt. You definitely need super armor for this one. You will constantly get hit. This is quite an annoying dungeon. So we're gonna rebuff because I'm running out of buff. So I might as well get that back. Personally, I'm gonna use a different elixir. This time I'm gonna use my ultimate dinner set, which gives me more damage reduction. Even though my damage reduction's quite high. When I did this on ults, I basically died in 3 shots. The bosses are always hitting you with small things. It's quite annoying. I don't want to waste too much apples as well, so I probably won't spend a major amount of time hanging around in this dungeon. Because I'll probably just keep dying. Maybe I'll be better doing it on my Daybreaker, because I have not actually tried this solo on my Daybreaker. Nope. That was close. Okay, so I'm going to use dinner set, so I have, so I'm more tanky. But yeah. Let's jump into that one. I'll still keep my weaker weapon though, just so I don't go through it too hard. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Get some water. Okay, so basically you're fighting, Luciel, you might as well say. Okay, so these guys, you're gonna get attacked by this Apollyon, as well as this guy that's always gonna shoot you with guns. It's quite annoying. You take a lot of damage, but otherwise if you don't have super armor, you're just gonna get knocked around all the time. So genuinely, you're gonna be dodging, I think you're gonna be dodging him a lot, if anything. Genuinely, I recommend, in some cases, even staying on wall title, kind of shredding them and saving yourself as well. You're going to be wanting to try and dodge as much as you can, maybe going side by side. But yeah, otherwise, while all this is going on, there's going to be some minor mechs. This one is spears, basically find the pair, place it. Ow. All this still hurts, even with all my damage reduction. I'm taking a fair amount of damage from these hits. When I did this on my ult, I died in 3-4 hits. It's not fun. It's not fun. Anyway, I don't remember when the first threshold is. This is a spear drop, so we're gonna dodge that. Ow. you ideally want to be trying to dodge them because you don't want to take all these hits because you won't have enough. Like, if you're having fighter potions and GSAs and wind orbs on your bar, like, you won't really have much for pots. Okay, this is a hammer. You have to just stand on this mark and then it disappears. Okay. But yeah, free of your... You don't want to be always chugging potions. Okay, at 180... Ow. At 180, you have to hit these guys with commands to create a safe bubble. There's going to be a Night Emperor that spawns, which has already spawned, and you need to hit those guys. You have to hit this guy, the blue one, with commands to summon the blue bubble. You need to be the opposite color as the Night Emperor to protect yourself and stand with him. But ideally, if he's in a bad spot like this, I'm kind of like staying above to avoid their hits, ideally, because you don't want to die during this mech. You cannot res, okay? There's unavoidable death debuff, Ooh, but you still want to make sure you do the mech in time and not die. My gosh. But yeah, if you will not proc your res title if you end up dying. You will just die because that is a main mech. So please be careful and wary of that as well. He will be groggy for a couple of seconds as well after that mech. So yeah. This is fan. There's going to be one side, when you see that blue wind, there's going to be one side that's going to be safe. You can come up here and try and dodge it, but usually people aren't fast enough. See, I wasn't fast enough, so just tank it, I guess. You can't. You just genuinely can't be fast enough to find it. You don't know if it's going to be on the left side or the right side. It's quite annoying. So it's better just to kind of tank it if you can. It's hard to take anything in this dungeon though. Everything hurts. Even I'm struggling on my main. This is swords. You have to remember 3 waves of swords. Try and dodge them. Oh gosh. Okay. At 60 bars is going to be his next mech. You're going to get kidnapped and you are going to see a bunch of symbols. I will tell you the symbols. This is flower. This is hourglass. This is circle. I will revisit these. This is star, and then the last symbol is diamond. Okay, you need to remember this order because this is the order you'll be hitting these symbols as they appear. Because that guy with the gun, that CO with the gun, he's hiding in the portals. You gotta grab them all. So next is hourglass now. Oops, you don't have a lot of time to do this, so don't mess around like me. You have to hit them with commands, okay? So try to avoid using like commands that are like my arrows, because you could end up hitting the wrong portal, and then it's an instant wipe, okay? You have to make sure you don't hit the wrong portal. Star, and then diamond. There you go. Once that's done, he's gonna be downed again for about like 5 seconds. It's really not long. I swear it gets shorter for each dungeon. Okay. Otherwise, it's still just going to be the basic kind of, you know, weapons that's going to be attacking you again, just like the hammer and stuff, if you don't kill him as fast as I do. But I certainly don't want to hang around, because it hurts. The second phase hurts just as much, but there's definitely going to be a lot more that's going on during that phase, so you definitely got to focus and lock in. Most people struggle at this one the most. Okay, so this time you are fighting CL with Lou. Okay, so as you just play this dungeon and every time you are hit, you are going to raise this meter bar. Every time this meter bar reaches 100%, there's going to be a somewhat major but minor mech that happens that the Lou is going to activate. But otherwise, you are mostly just kind of putting their HP down, and there's going to be normal HP thresholds as well. But yeah, you're mostly just dodging both their attacks. He's just going to shoot at you while she's going to like throw swords at you. She's going to do this. Oops. Throw a slash at you. She's going to throw hammers at you. She's going to throw spears. So she's going to throw a lot at you. So she's going to smash you with a hammer. So yeah, she's going to do a lot to just make things lots more difficult. Lots more difficult for you, so that's going to be lots of fun. So I'm already close to 100% here. When this reaches 100%, she's going to spin, and that activates the mech. So there's like 4 different mechs, okay? This one's swords. You have to go in the safe spot. There is a spear drop mech. There is a fan mech where you have to do skill tiers. And there is also a falling hammer mech where you have to destroy a falling hammer. So yeah, this is just shapes. You just have to destroy that to save yourself. That one's easy. But yeah, let's reach the first threshold. So this is Reign of Chaos. He's either going to teleport to the far left the middle, or the far right. Basically, just dodge all these spears, okay? If he goes to the far left, go to the far left with him, and dodge these across, like this, pretty simple. He will do this the same way if you do the far right. If he teleports in the middle, basically it's going to be like this pattern where you have to go like in the middle. It's going to be like bars, and you have to go in the middle of the bars, basically. That one's much easier because then you don't have to go like far left, far right. You can just dodge it in the middle. But yeah, basically just avoid the falling spears. Pretty easy. Anyway, sometimes he'll go for walkies and just walk away from you. He doesn't care. Zero respect. Destroy the shapes. Ow. Ow. Everything still hurts, as I was saying. I'm about to reach the meter threshold again, as you can tell. You have to pay attention to absolutely everything. Okay, she's gonna spin. I don't see any symbols or anything, so a hammer is probably falling. So, I will show you what that looks like. There's the hammer. Just hit it with skills, it will bounce back up, and it will die. Okay? Luckily, I have a very tall skill, so, that's pretty easy. But yeah. But otherwise, if it hits the ground, it's going to explode and probably kill you. At 180 bars, you are going to have guns. Basically, you'll have 2 Apollons that spawn and some guns that aim at you. All you have to do is hit the marked Apollon with a gun. This is a very generous time that you can wait for, though. It gives you a very generous waiting time. So, like, you could, like, flail around for a fair bit if you don't know what you're doing. Just don't get hit by the gun yourself. You are also an obstacle, okay? So for this one, I'm just gonna stay, like, let's say I got, like, extremely lost. Oh gosh, where am I going? Oh no! Like, it's very generous time that you're just hanging around for. So, yeah. It's gonna take a fair while, but make sure you're hitting him with the gun and not yourself. Okay, after that, he's gonna get groggy again for another 5 seconds. So, very not long at all, but it gives you time, it gives you a good window to still, you know, get some DPS power in. Oopsie, I missed. Another swipe. Oop! Definitely if you have, like, you're still gonna make sure you have super armor all through this, because otherwise you're literally just gonna get smacked right across the screen if you don't. Okay, at 121 bars, you're gonna do the flower garden. Okay, so there's gonna be these little flowers that spawn, and you need to destroy them with commands. You have to watch both sides, okay? So they're gonna spawn on this side. It can be quite annoying sometimes for some classes, because you might not have ranged commands like this. You might have to rely on, like, short focused ones. But otherwise, I think they have a more generous time in solo mode because you have to watch both sides. I don't know how long, but I'm not willing to test it. But otherwise, if you accidentally miss a flower or you leave it for too long, you're gonna die. So, instant death. Once you've done it all and you get this yellow message, you gotta go on the top floor and avoid that attack. And then you're safe. Mech done. Next mech. Gonna do some good old damage here. For science reasons, I'll let the bar build up again. I'll let the bar build up again so we can I'll get hit a bit more. I'll let the bar build up again so you can see the other mechs if she'll do another one. If this punishment aura debuff reaches 20 stacks, it's gonna fill the bar up by a lot, the meter up by a lot, and that you just get those stacks every time you get hit. Okay, so I'm waiting for her to spin. That's when she's activated the mech. This is spear drop. Avoid all these spears here. You also have a debuff where a spear is going to fall. Do not let it land on these other spears. Keep it away. Keep it far away. So I'm going to land it over here. There we go. Because if it lands on those other spears, it's going to explode and probably kill you. Okay, so that's 3 out of 4 that we've seen for the mech one. The other one that I haven't shown yet is fans, where she'll spin around and she'll summon a fan beside her, and on both sides there'll be a tornado with a skill tiered color. If it's blue, you have to use a tenacity skill in the middle of the tornado. If it's red, you have to use a bravery skill. If it's purple, strength. Okay, this one is orbs. This guy's gonna summon 6 orbs. If it has, you have to hit it with commands. If it does not show a symbol, let it pass, okay? You can do very simple damage with this, so don't over damage it. You hit it once, and if it shows no symbol, just let it pass. If it shows a symbol, you have to kill it. It's a fake orb. Okay? So this one has a symbol. I just shot one arrow and see, look, they destroy very quickly. So you got to be careful. You don't want to accidentally destroy a fake orb, one that has no symbol, or it's going to be a wipe. Okay, you're only destroying the orbs that have a symbol in the middle. A single simple hit will show if it has a one or not. So don't accidentally hit too many times wondering if it will show up. Usually that's not very glitchy at all. Anyway, that's the last HP mech, so you just have to kill him after that. I don't personally want to stay in here much longer, so I'm just gonna kill him. I could actually stay in here for 10 more seconds, let my essay run out, and I can show you how badly you get knocked about. You know what? For science. She's also going to do meter mech as well, so let's see if we can get fans, but I doubt. Nope, it's swords. I was gonna say I doubt it. Here's the safe zone. You're just standing in the safe zone, pretty simple. See, look how much I'm getting knocked around. Like, you can easily die and get. I've already used my res. Every single hit's gonna knock you about, and like, you'll probably die. So please have super armor. Absolute must. Okay. And there you go. Oh, dramatic. No, my love. Moment. Okie dokie Loki, there's the next dungeon. Okay, so I'm still gonna go back to my browser over here and we're gonna revisit some stuff just so I can explain them better. So the patterns, like the putting the spears together, putting a hammer where you just stand on the aura. There's also a hammer that spawns that basically expands unless you stand in the circle. So every time you see this glowing hammer that has an expanding circle, just stand in it. So it makes it smaller so the attack isn't as big, as well as the spear aimed at one person. What else did I not explain very well? Okay, down here is the symbols. Most people usually screenshot this and use it by the side of them when they're starting out just for reference. Because otherwise it can get quite confusing to remember these. Like, people, for example, mistake star and diamond together because they look the same, or you might even mistake circle and star because they both kind of have this circle kind of look to them. But otherwise, the best way to remember these is the circle is literally a circle, the flower is a 3-point kind of looking flower, diamond is literally a big diamond shape, or like a really weird square shape, I guess, on the side. I'd say big diamond. The star shape is basically Luciel's combination gauge kind of symbol. Big dramatic star that looks like a ritual of some sort, and then the hourglass literally looks like an hourglass. But otherwise it's good to literally screenshot this and use it for reference. Some people also call star aura, but otherwise when you're actually doing the mech, you're not going to write out like circle, flower, star. People just abbreviate it with C, F, S, D, H. It's so much easier to write, but you're going to need to remember the order that it shows you so you can hit the order of the portals. Anything else that I need to gloss over? I will quickly... So this is what the skill tier tornadoes looks like, but you won't get 3 of them. When you go to the far left or the far right, you will only get 1. But yeah, blue is tenacity, purple is strength, red is bravery. You just have to use a skill in the middle of the tornado. If you don't, it's going to... there's going to be a fan attack, which can most likely kill you. Ideally, at least clear one side and stay on that side to be safe. You don't have to clear the other side if you don't reach it in time. You can still be safe by sticking to one side and just not avoiding the other side until the mech is over. When the meter disappears, when the meter aura disappears, that's when the mech is like cleared and done. But yeah. I think... Okay, so this is what this one looks like. If they teleport to the middle, it's literally just stay in, like, these safe spots here. But yeah, if it's the far left or the far right, it's gonna look like this, and you're gonna go across the map. But with these ones, you're just gonna kind of go in between the spears. That's the only other difference. And yeah, that's basically it for that one. Okay, now I think it's time to go into Wilting Tower. This one is probably one of the harder ones and the most mech intensive, so this is going to go for quite long, personally. But yeah, I'll try and explain it the best that I can, but otherwise it's definitely going to be, it's going to take a while, and there's some things I will have to revisit, and go back to the document after the dungeon. But I'll try and explain the best I can while in the dungeon, but some of the mechs you have to clear pretty fast, so I won't be able to explain them fully. So definitely refer to the end of the dungeon clearing for that. Because definitely when I was trying to explain this live, I died a couple of times because I didn't clear the mech fast enough because I was trying to explain it. So I do apologize that I won't be able to explain it in the heat of the moment. Otherwise, there will be some things that you see that is reoccurring, other things, but they're going to be a little different, that's the thing. The reoccurring things are going to be a little different to what you're familiar with. Okay, so before we actually enter it, there is one thing I am going to brush up upon. So for the very first phase of this dungeon of number 4, it's a big dragon, and you're going to have this thing called polarity. So basically people call it magnets, magnet polarity. And you guys know how magnets have like a positive and minus. If you put two positives together, they're just going to bounce back. If you put a positive and a minus together, they're going to be fine. So this works the exact same way. So basically, definitely when you're doing this with party play, if you end up hitting someone with the same polarity as you, you are going to just bounce back from them, and this can kill. This can be such an obstacle for you and kill. This still applies in solo mode because they will summon Knight Emperor NPCs to mimic the same polarity as you, just to make things harder for you, so you can get used to this mech in general, because this is generally quite an annoying, like you literally just bounce between polarities and stuff. But otherwise, someone is the same polarity, the opposite polarity as you can walk right through. This also applies with bombs. So if bombs, there's going to be bombs that summon in the map, or bombs that you will have to place on the board. If the bomb is the same color as you, it's going to bounce you away and you can fall off the map. Or it can launch you up. If you're on top of a bomb, it can launch you up and kill you. So you definitely don't want to be on top of bombs either. You don't want to be on the side of them. But if the bomb is the opposite color to you, you will be fine. Okay? So just kind of mention that for starters, because there's going to be a lot that's going to go on with this, but that's the main thing I gotta kind of keep out of the way. I gotta kind of mention. Okay. Ideally, please have super armor and damage reduction. Yet again, quite important. Otherwise, you will just kind of, with the bosses like swipe attacks and everything, you will just kind of get launched off the map. You can easily fall off this map, and it is mostly the cause of death. You only have 3 reses, and the second phase of this is quite hard. You ideally do not want to die in phase 1. Okay. Let's jump straight into it. So you're going to be greeted by a giant dragon. He has some basic attacks, like I was saying. He has some swipe attacks. You see these Knight Emperors? So if I jump into these Knight Emperors, I'm just going to get launched. So these are the same polarity as you. They're literally just there to be obstacles. They're not going to move, thank goodness. But they will change positions and stuff. But otherwise, all this dragon really does for now is just swipe. So you can just kind of dodge this by going to the other side. At 270 bars, you are going to... Wait, there we go. At 270, you're going to have your first mech. Okay, you are trying to find the bomb that is the same color as you. You need to explode it. And then launch yourself up. Okay, and you're going to turn off this lightning rod. And that makes you pass. If you don't do that, you are going to die. It's basically just instant death. Okay, you have to react very fast and do that. Okay, so basically if you have a bomb which is the opposite color, you're gonna place it on the opposite. Okay, I'm already reaching the mechs very fast, my goodness. So you're gonna end up in the opposite polarity. So there's gonna be left or right. If you're blue, you're gonna go on the red one. If you're red, you're gonna go on the blue one. And you're gonna avoid the Ki from knocking you out, and that basically passes that mech. Am I that OP? I still have my IDR weapon on. You're still gonna get bombs. You ideally want to avoid them. That's lasers. Barcat changes the flow of ions, so that's gonna color change. Oops, every time you see that message, it's gonna color change you. Now we're blue. When you get hit by lasers and stuff, it's gonna raise your bubble. You can make this smaller with hyperactives or just with time. This is breath attack. Every time he's going to put his head back, either to the left or right. If he goes to the left, he's going to breathe from the left to the right. If he goes from the right, like he just did, he's going to breathe from the right to the left. So you're going to dodge that accordingly. Owl, howling, hurts. Okay, I didn't get to explain lasers as well. I'm going to kind of let him do lasers again. Here's a bomb. A bomb is the same color as me, so I'm going to kind of put that there. I don't think, yeah, it doesn't affect the keys. How annoying. This is no, that's not lasers. This is, okay, every time he does that, he's going to launch an orb. You've got to grab this orb, and these are all going to be the same color as you, but pick them up. They take a lot of damage, though, so make sure you are healing as you are picking these up. Why is that key right there? If you don't pick these up, they're going to explode, and it's going to hurt. Avoid all these bombs, ideally. Okay, movement is impaired. He's going to do lasers. Stay down the bottom, so all the lasers end up at the bottom, then go up, okay? Otherwise, if you have the lasers, if he does that move and you are, like, up here, all the lasers are going to be up here. It's going to be harder for you to dodge. Place the bomb away from you so you don't... so it's not a nuisance, because if you don't place the bomb, it's going to just drop by itself. So ideally, place the bomb out of harm's way. At 150 is going to be one of our main mechs with the lightning rods. Okay. He's going to do breath. Okay, so here's one of our main mechs, lightning rods. It's going to tell you which one to go to. Coming from the 4th lightning rod, I get a bomb. I'm going to place the bomb. The 4th one's about here-ish. I'm going to place it, go on top of it. I'm going to be launched, and I'm going to go to this 4th lightning rod. There's 4 up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And so this is a very simple mech. Basically, if it lights up, you're going to press your F1. If it doesn't, you leave it. Boom. That's literally it. You have to launch yourself up, and you are going to just press it every time it lights up. Sometimes you will get the trigger, the F1 trigger, but it's not going to light up. Don't press it. Just leave it. You only want to press it if it lights up. See? I got the F1 trigger, but it's not lit up. And it's fine. Whoop. Ideally, you don't want to fall, because, yeah, you need to complete that mech. And now we're going to move on to the next stage. It looks the exact same, just more terrifying. There's not much different here except the amount of bombs that might spawn. That's basically it. He's doing a breath attack from the left to the right, so go to the other side. Okay, and there's also a color change, which I did not see the message for. I am blind. Get the bomb out the way. That's not going to affect me though. So if I stand in the way of this bomb, because it's the opposite color of me, it won't affect me. He just launched an orb, so we need to grab this orb. And then we're going to grab all these again, because if we left it, it's going to explode. We don't want that. Ouch. Grab all these orbs. Ow, ow. You're going to be chugging a couple of pots there, so... If you have wedding cake has 10-second cooldown, will help lots. Lasers, stay on the bottom, and then go up the top once you see them summon. Oopsie. Ow, don't get hit by the lasers like me. I'm stupid. I also turned off my super armor, which was also stupid. I'm mostly hanging around to show you the mechs a bit. Oops, ow. I probably could awaken, that would probably help. Another swipe. If I got hit with that without my super armor, he would probably just swipe me off the screen, because you can fall down here. You ideally don't want to. But yeah, color change as well. I'm still the same color, so I'm going to put it right next to this one, because I'm the same color as this bomb, and I'm going to turn off the lightning rod. Turn that off. You don't have very long to do that. You have to act very fast, because I learned that the hard way. He's going to be groggy for a bit, so this is your time to do some big damage. Most classes are really good at bigger bossing, so this shouldn't be too hard. Ideally, you can get some good multi-hits by damaging at the hands and the body. Okay, so I am blue, so I'm going to go on this side. And a good way to identify too is the key as well. If he's the same color as you, just go follow him. Don't let him bounce you off though as well. He's still an obstacle, so be careful. Okay, I'm at another threshold, or did I... Oopsie. Oh gosh. Okay, I gotta make sure I don't get hit by those bombs. Oh gosh. Like, there was some blue bombs there. You do not want to be, like, those bombs hit in hit in like a triangle. You don't want to, they hit on the sides and hit on top. If I was on top of those bombs and I got hit, I would have been launched up the top. I will not survive. Okay, usually when you do the mechs, you can launch up there because you get a buff that prevents you from dying. Otherwise, if I go up here, there's actually electrical current. So if I actually go up there past that, I'm gonna die. So yeah, you gotta be careful that you don't get a bomb that launches you when you're not doing a mech. Otherwise, you will just kind of instantly goodbye. Okay, fourth lightning rod yet again. So I'm gonna put the bomb over here. So watch my buff bar. As soon as I get hit by this bomb, I get this, here we go. I get this kind of buff. This charge, this yellow buff that lets me go through this. So yeah. Otherwise, if a bomb launched me up normally, I would just die. So there's a lot of things that could definitely kill you within like one shot. So you definitely want to be careful. There's definitely a lot to watch out for 21-4. So lots of people hate this dungeon heaps. This is still only the first phase. But yeah, you don't have the struggle of other people around you because other people are huge obstacles. So you still have the Night Emperors, I guess, but otherwise you can still focus more on your surroundings much better when it's just you. But then also you're the one that needs to do all the damage still and carry yourself. Okay, so there's no more polarity now that we've cleared that phase. We're going to move on to the second phase, which is Barcat again. So you guys remember Barcat from the first dungeon? We're going to visit her again. And she's got some upgraded kind of stuff going on. And she looks cooler. She's got an outfit change. Anyway. So she's going to do a couple of stuff that we've seen before. She's going to do swipe, swipe, swipe. And she's going to throw a flame. Now, the annoying thing about this move is that sometimes she can do a little switcheroo on you. She's still going to do her wing attack. Ideally, if you get hit 10 times, you're going to end up freezing again. There's also rocks. She's also going to launch rocks. Be careful. See, look, she's done a switcheroo on me. Ouchie. And I just used my res title because I didn't want to go on the other side or I was going to get hit by that rock and die. She still does Medusa, so be careful, watch your eye, is what everyone will tell you. There's another rock, dodge the rocks. Ouch, see, I got frozen. It's going to be a 5-second freeze. Oops, okay, so this is mass. So this one's a bit hard to explain, but otherwise you are going to have an open eye or a closed eye, and there's going to be a Night Emperor which will have the same thing. A closed eye is -1, and an open eye is +1. You want to, and then the whole stage is going to be split in half. You ideally want to have the same math number on each of the sides. So because we were both -1, I went on the other side, so both sides are -1. If I had an opened eye and the Night Emperor had a closed eye, we would both cancel each other out and it would be 0. Because I'm -1 and he's +1, it would equal 0. So, we would stay on the same side and then the other side would be 0, if that makes sense. We would do that a few times, so I will re-explain it every single time. Let's do some damage, Owl, for a bit. Because now that we kind of know her basic moves, she won't really do much else other than just those moves. Not until thresholds happen. So we're going to reach her first threshold, which is going to be, ouchie, I'm frozen again. Oh my gosh, please don't die. Oh, I knew I was going to die because I reached the threshold. Dang it, that's okay. Okay, so the first threshold is going to be lasers. I am invisibility frames, I have to guess. Oh, that was a lucky guess. I couldn't even tell. That was terrible death. Okay, so ideally have a res title for this. You can still use res titles. So this is the same thing, but a bit different. Blue border, if it's blinking blue, if it's blinking a black border, you are safe. These alternate though. As soon as they do it, alternate to the other ones. And yeah, they're going to be 3 waves of this. Okay. If it's going to be ice lasers though, if you have a blue border, you are not safe this time. You are not safe. You need to have no border. So that's the only difference. The ice lasers are different compared to the stage 1, but the black lasers, the black hands are still the same. So please remember, please be aware of that. The same thing's going to happen if I fail Medusa, where if I fail it, it's going to have a shockwave and there's going to be a shadow hand spawned below me. I don't want that to happen. Okay, so we are both -1, so I'm going to even out. I have to go up here to even out. So both sides are -1. If this fails and you don't do the maths, it's going to be a map-wide damage that could probably almost kill you. So you ideally want to do that properly as well. La 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 la. That's look away. I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not gonna risk showing you what it's like to fail because I don't really want to take that. I'm actually gonna put back on my super armor. Okay, so once you reach 226, she's gonna open her wings and you have to press F1 and it's gonna summon a safe spot. If you do it too early or too late, you are gonna like agitate her and she's gonna do like a attack. So yeah, but otherwise I think she only does it a couple of times. So you gotta kind of do it as soon as the first time or the second time. But yeah, literally as soon as she opens her wings, basically, you press the F1 button to get that buff and find your safe spot. And then you're moving on to the second phase. Yippee! Now, there's a lot that goes on here, and you're also going to get a color. I am blue. You'll either get a blue or red color. So there's, first thing she's going to do is lasers. So let's see what she does. Okay, black. I'm looking for a black safe spot. Here we are. So my border is black. I am safe here. Otherwise, you can look at your debuff. If you have this debuff, then yeah. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to go on that where that laser was because it's going to alternate. As soon as you do one wave, it's going to alternate. So there's a couple of safe spots here. There's one here and there's one over here. There's 6 different places that they could be safe or not so safe. Oh, good. And we're going to alternate. You have to remember to always alternate. Oh, give me lasers. Give me the blue lasers. Okay, there's only one safe spot. I want to show you guys the blue lasers. Oh my gosh. Ouch. Okay. Okay, now there's a lot that's going to go on over here. So I'm going to show you a couple of the things. She can overlap all these mechs. So now when rocks fall, you want to hit them. Because if they hit the ground, it's going to hurt. She does all of her main attacks still the same, but now you have to pay attention to everything else. Where is he? Okay, we're both open eyes, so we're going to be separate. We're going to split ourselves. So she can do her normal attacks on top of, like, you need to go on crowns, you need to bonk rocks at the same time. There's a lot that you need to pay attention to this time. So, and things are going to be overlapping, so it can be quite hard. So there's going to be a rock over here. I need to avoid looking at her. I need to do Medusa. So that's when things can get, like, quite a lot for some people. Ignore these. They just hurt. She can still, like, throw a curveball at you. I need to get these because these are crowns. These explode if you don't stand on them in time. So you have to keep an eye on everything that's going on, as well as trying to attack her. Here's another rock. Oh, ouch. I'm going to grab this rock. She's launching more of that. More of these bombs. More of these crown bombs. Medusa. I need to dodge that. See, so this is when things can get a bit overwhelming for most people if you don't have, you know, a brain that, like, works, is good at multitasking. You definitely need to be very good at multitasking. And remember, she can still switch her flame and stuff. It can be quite a lot. It can be quite a lot. So, anyway, let's reach the first HP threshold. Oops, I'm up to lasers again. That's okay, more practice. Okay, here's blue lasers. So this means I'm unsafe. I'm looking for one that, oh gosh, I'm still unsafe. Oops. No, dang it. Okay, so you're looking for one where there's no border. You have time to, like, still go through all of them. Okay, so yeah, if I don't have the debuff, then I am safe. Okay? And then remember, you need to alternate. Okay. Okay, I got the buff here, so I'll just stay here. As soon as you identify one safe spot, you're fine. And then you just need to alternate the second time. Okay. And she does 3 waves of that. Okay, let's try and reach... Okay, here we go. Here's the first major mech. This is what we call Roman numerals. So ideally you are trying to find... There are 6 numbers that are going to be the same and 6 numbers that are going to be different. If you have a closed eye, you're going to go to the least occurring number. If you have an open eye, you're going to go to the most occurring number. So I have a closed eye and there's 6 different 3s here. So that's the most occurring number. I'm not going to go on 3 because I have a closed eye. Okay? Okay, now I have an open die. So we're gonna identify, quickly scan, what's the most occurring number? Freeze. 1, 2, where's a free here, free here, free here, free, free, free. So I can go in any of these spots. So I can go in this far right one. Any of these frees is safe for me when I have an open eye. There's gonna be 3 waves of this. As you can tell, most things come in freeze. I have an open eye again. What's the most occurring Roman numeral? Nope. It's 1s, I think. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to this one. It's the most occurring number, so yep. And I'm open eye. Definitely pay attention to what eye that you have. And then she's gonna be groggy for a bit, so you have some time to do some damage. She's still gonna drop some rocks and stuff on you, so be careful. Nope, never mind, no rocks. Okay, the Night Emperor is down the bottom, so, can I reach her? Just. Yay, damage! I'll take what I can get. Okay. Look away. I'll just look at her for once. Nope, never mind. I was gonna say, I'll show you once, what happens when you fail Medusa. I think I've already shown you in the first dungeon, but yeah, I can still show you here, because then that's when things... Ooh! You ideally stay close to her just in case lasers happens randomly like that, because you don't want to be on this outer border or you'll just die, as you saw before. So definitely always try and stay close to her in case she starts this mech, because this mech is on a timer, the lasers. I don't know how long the timer is, but yeah. Okay, so I've blue, oh, not safe, not safe, not safe, not safe, not safe. Oh god. You have a generous amount of time to try and find the safe spots, but generally, man, sometimes you just can't find them, and that can happen. That definitely can end up happening. Okay. Okay, that was 3 waves. I'm just gonna damage her quickly, so we can do. This is gonna be prophecy. Okay, so you're going to write down the Roman numerals that you see, because this is going to be very important. So we have 8, 2, 7, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? This one confuses a lot of people. You have to make sure that you have system messages on, or you are not going to see the prophecies. So, very important, make sure you have those on. Okay, you are going to get a prophecy, and you're going to look for a hint, a number hint from 1 to 6. So, for example, for this one, the Shining Star, the 5 horns. So, I'm going to look at the numbers I just wrote out. The 5th number that I wrote out is 4. So, I'm going to go to 4. Okay? So this prophecy is going to tell you which number to look at, what position number to look at, and where to go to. It can take a while at first. You can also open your chat and write the press up to copy what you've written. Trinity. So I'm going to go to 7. 7 is the 3rd number that I wrote in that order that I was given. So there we go. That's safe. The single point, a lonely solitude. So this is going to be the 1st number that we wrote. The 1st number we wrote is 8. So we're going to go to 8. My poor HP dying. Definitely get right off. As soon as you clear it, get right off, because you could end up wiping yourself. Light and dark, self and right and wrong. 2 forks in the park, in the path. Make sure you kind of add something to make sure you don't get spam protection. 2 is hilariously 2. The number in the 2nd position is 2. Okay, sometimes I add dashes to my message just so I don't get spam protection. I would kill myself. The quadrilateral, so 4 is 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I wrote in the 4th position, I wrote the number 3. You're gonna go through all of them. Highest number on the dice, which is 6. So in the 6th position is the number 5. So, with these mechs, you could end up doing this mech twice, or you could end up doing the Roman numerals mech twice. She's gonna be groggy, and you have to do the mech again at 1 bar, okay? Ideally, try and get her down to the 1 bar before she comes back up, or you have to do lasers again. So I did not do damage in time, so unfortunately I have to do lasers again. If you can do damage fast enough where she doesn't get back up, you could skip the lasers altogether. But in this case, because I have a weaker weapon, I did not. But this is good laser practice. This is good laser practice. This is unsafe because I got a debuff. I was safe in the one that I was in. There's a couple of different ways that you could... The other way, the third way to identify this is by looking at yourself. It's not an ideal way to look at it because you're going to be small, but if you look... So if I have this mark, so I don't have it in a space where I'm not safe, but I do have it where I am, but it will be the opposite if I did the blue one. So not a good way to tell either. I recommend doing the border way, but that can be quite confusing for some people as well. Anyway, we're going to kill her, but we're not going to kill her because she won't die. Anyway, so this is prophecy again. We're going to go 3. This is 8, 6, 4, 7, and 2. I'm going to double check that. 6, 4, 7, and 2. It's always good to kind of double check your work. Okay. Light and dark, the 2 forks in the path. So the second number that we wrote in that order is 8. So we're going to go to 8. The Trinity, add some dashes so we don't get spam warning. Trinity 1, 2, 3. The third number that we wrote is 6. Shining Star, the 5 horns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th number that we wrote is 7. Single point, the first number that we wrote. Single point 1. Okay. You getting it? You're following along? Following along? The highest number on the dice. So the last number that we wrote, because there's 6 numbers here, is 2. So we're going to head up to 2. I feel like that one's the hardest to understand, so I'm glad that we ended up doing it twice. Oh, I wasn't done. I thought we were. Quadrilateral number. So 4 is 4. Sometimes it just falls into place like that. Okay, that should be the last one, right? Okay, there we go. And then you just kill her. There you go. So there's definitely a lot to remember. Okay, so for those things that I did not explain very well, I will revisit. I apologize for my sniffling, by the way. My nose is quite blocked. Ideally, this shouldn't take you 23 minutes. It takes most people between like 10 to 16 minutes, but because I was going through everything, yeah. Anyway, let's go back to our lovely trusty browser here, and I will revisit some stuff that I couldn't explain very well. So yeah, like I said, for that one mech where there's those shielded bombs, you have to place a bomb right next to it to be able to break the shell, and then you can launch yourself up, but you need to be the same color as the bomb. Otherwise, another way to identify it quickly if you can't identify the color that you are currently, you can just look at the bomb color that you have and go to the opposite bomb color. So you'd have so this person has a blue one, so they'll quickly run to the red one. Always opposites. But yeah. And then just turn off the rod. Okay, what did I explain very badly? Rock drop, I said that one. Yeah, so I said how the balance is. The open eye is +1, the closed eye is -1. So you got to balance it out. So here's how the buff way works, but I definitely prefer doing it the border way. It really is up to your preference how you prefer to kind of do it. But yeah, you can try and look through your big ass buff bar to try and find the buff if you prefer, but I feel like it's much easier to look at the border way. But do remember, compared to stage 1, where if you have a blue border, you'll be safe. If you have a blue border, you are in danger. So yeah, but otherwise if you see the buff, you are not safe for the ice lasers. So definitely refer to the VOD backwards again, the video, sorry, to see how that works instead of listening to my explanation here. Okay, so sometimes you will get, you'll either be blue or red. In this case, we got blue. Sometimes you can be red. It still works the exact same, but this is what the blue crowns look like. If you don't step on them in time, they're gonna explode. And this is what the red rocks look like, the red/black rocks. But yeah, this time, in this second phase, you have to make sure you actually bonk the rocks. Otherwise, when in the first phase, don't touch them at all, you'll die. Okay, so this is really handy to take a picture of. I'll move out of the way a bit. But otherwise, most people take like a screenshot of this. And even I took a screenshot or saved this picture. Because if you don't know Roman numerals, it's really good to have on the side of you so you know what they look like. Because I definitely struggled with Roman numerals. Most people struggle with 4 and 6 looking the exact same. But basically, if you have these little hourglasses going on the right side going up, it is up. If it's on the left side, then it's down. Okay, because otherwise you're going to have this diamond as 5 always in the middle, but if the diamond is on the right and it's going that way, then yeah, it's a higher number. The other side, it's a lower number. But yeah, I was terrible at Roman numerals when I first started, so I actually used this as a cheat sheet for the longest time, so I know what numbers I'm writing. Another thing that also helps identifying these ones sometimes is that the number 8 will always have a filled in diamond compared to these ones that don't. But yeah, otherwise you can just count like diamond is 5 and then 2 more is 7. This diamond is 5 and then plus 1 is 6. But yeah, you can't apply that to the 4 because then that looks like a 6. But remember, if the hourglass is behind the 5, it's a 4. But yeah, it might take you a while at first. Anyway, I think we're moving on to the next one after that explanation. So, another thing with Doom Aporia, usually with like Abyss and stuff, let's say that you were really bad at like Birth of Origin or like Blooming Mineral Field. Let's say you could clear solo for Sunken Holy Ground, but you can't clear Blooming Mineral Field. You can do solo for this and then make a party and then, you know, clear the rest of a party, or you could do it the opposite way. You could have a party that does both of these and then your party disbands for the last dungeon, so you do it solo. You can do that. With Doom Aporia, you can kind of do this, but not really. The only difference is 4 and 5. 4 and 5 you must do together. So you cannot like, even for when you're doing like your weapon stages and stuff, oh, sorry, wrong weapon. Even when you're doing like your weapon stages and stuff, oh, I'm up to stage 6, I forgot. Like you have to clear like Wilting Tower Fall, you cannot actually farm this dungeon because you need to always clear 4 before you can enter 5. So this applies with solo and normal. If you clear 21-4, if you clear the 4th dungeon by yourself, you can't make a party to clear this dungeon if you can't clear it. You have to get a party together and do 4 all over again, because these two are basically one dungeon, but because the dungeon was so long, they split it into 2. So you need to do these together. Otherwise, you can do them together with a normal party, you can do it together solo, but you can't like go all the way up to here solo and then be like, man, I can't clear this, I need to make a normal party. You have to sadly do 4 all over again. Even if you clear this and you fully clear, you can't continue farming this for like runs or anything. You need to do 4 all over again. So people hate it. It's quite terrible. But yeah. Anyway, make sure you rebuff. I will say 5 is probably one of the more easier ones, most people say, and I do heavily agree. Compared to 4, it is much less mech intensive and much easier to actually go by compared to 4. But some people disagree. If anything, it just can be kind of long because he has a lot of HP. But we'll go over it best that we can. Okay, so make sure you get all your rebuffs. I'm gonna get the damage reduction buff again, just to be safe. And we're gonna go back into solo mode. There's nothing I can really tell you beforehand, so I'll try and tell you everything I can as soon as we enter. So first you're going to enter with the dragon in the middle, and there's going to be these kind of like lightning tower rods. Every time you destroy a tower rod, it's going to take 20 bars of his health away. He starts at 500 health, but every time we destroy... I have no awakening. Every time you destroy one of these towers, they're decently weak in solo mode, so you shouldn't have too much trouble. But you can see very quickly, there goes 20 of his health. Every time you get a bomb, place it by the tower. Don't die. Don't get hit by the bomb either. They hurt. And it's going to do a lot of damage to the tower. You're mostly going to be dodging lightning that is going to spawn from the sky. I'm waiting for it to spawn again. There we go. There's the lightning. Dodge the lightning. And also this tail swipe. Ow. Which can still hit you afterwards because it's stupid. As well as the lasers that fall from the sky. Those black and red marks that you saw that I got before. He's also going to do a breath attack. Just jump up and dodge that. So yeah, that's all he does in the background. But otherwise, yeah, it's literally just dodging thunder, lasers, breath, and tail. And then once you've done all that, you're going to bring him down from 500 bars to 400 bars. And that's when the real fight starts. The actual fight here is pretty simple. What you're going to do is he's going to stand over here on this platform here. Ideally, you're going to stay on this platform. This is a safe platform. If you're going to damage from like these kind of beams and stuff, these can kind of disappear from certain attacks and stuff, and also from all these slashes. Dodge all these slashes because they really hurt as well. They're just gonna they're gonna stop after a couple of seconds, and you can just dodge them. He's also going to do this orb. When this orb is on the inner, you're going to stay in it. When it's going out to arrows, you're going to dodge it because it's going to be a bomb. Okay, he's also going to either fly down below, in the middle, or on the top. Okay, so he flew down below, so he's going to fly to the top and do a breath attack, so we're going to stay below. Okay, so his HP thresholds are every like 50-ish bars, 50 to 100 bars. So his first one is going to be at 350 bars. But yeah, he's mostly going to do these slashes and stuff. Just kind of dodge them. Put them away from you. He's going to do that. See, that's another inner orb one. I have to stay close to that. If I don't. So I'm not even staying on the platform. I'm not even taking my own advice. But ow! See, look, that's just going to proc your res if you aren't in the middle of that. Dodge that. Those double slashes hurt. You can kind of take the single slashes, but not the double ones. Okay, so at 350 bars, you are going to do a mech called Tornadoes. This sucks. Okay, so basically you're going to run to your safe spot. Okay, and you're going to avoid the tornadoes. You're getting pushed by the wind, as you can tell. So there's resistance, so you got to be careful. And you want to dodge all these tornadoes. If you get hit, you are going to have no ability to run for a couple of seconds, and you're going to get confusion debuff. Confusion debuff is going to mess with your up and down keys. They're going to be the complete opposite. So ideally, try not to get hit. And then the wind is going to stop when he is done almost on the mech, and you have to be in your safe spot when the wind stops. Okay? So it's quite difficult. If you're not in your safe spot by that time, you will just die. So yeah, once you have successfully passed the mech though, he will go in a groggy state. But yeah, if you do get hit by the tornadoes, they do massive damage. Probably getting hit by 2 tornadoes will kill you, so definitely be careful. Make sure you're always watching your debuffs. Okay, he's doing breath. Okay, he's flown to the top, so the top is going to be the safe zone. So he's going to fly down to the bottom and do a breath attack. Just kind of stay up here to avoid that. And he's going to fly back to the middle. I'm going to stay down here for now. Okay. Ignore this red kind of thing. You can just tank that. That's fine. Okay, so we're going to take these 2 slashes. You can ideally do that, but then make sure you're kind of healing yourself. It's probably better to dodge them. Like if I take this, ouch. See, it makes these disappear as well. But yeah, as you can see, I almost died by that. So ideally, don't do that. Okay, so here's the opposite one that I was explaining about. If it has arrows expanding like that, you kind of want to stay away from that. Because that will explode and kill you like that after a few seconds. Okay, so the next threshold is 250. So we're going to reach that real quick. But yeah, he basically just does the same very basic moves. The slashes, the orb, and, you know, that one red kind of thing as well. And the breath attacks. Okay, absorb. So you're going to stand in here and you're going to look for an orb that is an orb on any of these. Where is it? It's up there, okay? And you're going to stand here, kind of close to it, but not too close that you're touching it. And you're going to start absorbing this orb. If you get too close to it, you are going to get a discharge, and you want to step away from the entire absorb platform and release it away. Otherwise, all you're doing is just gaining debuffs and standing on the side here just to absorb the energy, and that's how you pass the mech. It's basically just an AFK mech. But you have to, this could appear on any of the issue is that this could appear on any of these, so you have to act very fast. You can't let it expand too big. Otherwise, you're going to end up wiping yourself. But it's pretty simple once you kind of identify it, and then he's going to be groggy again. I didn't want to show you what happens if you do actually discharge it because I don't want to fail personally. But I can show you a GIF version of it later. Okay, if he does a breath attack, sometimes those disappear, so you don't have to worry about them. He went down below. Oh no, wrong one. Okay, so this is middle breath. There's going to be a key that you can hide behind to save yourself. If you end up getting hit by his debuff though, you can freeze, and then you'll be freed. You also need to free the Night Emperor as well, just by using commands. But yeah, otherwise, if he does a middle breath, you need to find that Night Emperor to body block you, as well as freeing him with commands. But otherwise, if you end up getting the debuff yourself, usually someone's meant to free you, but no one can free you, so you just unfreeze by yourself after a certain amount of time. Okay. So now you know what all three breaths look like. Sometimes the middle breath can look very similar to the bottom breath. It can be hard to tell. Kind of just stay in the general area. But yeah, and keep an eye out for that Night Emperor. Ooh, ouch! I saw that coming. I was trying to stay close to that orb before it exploded, but never mind. That's okay. I'm still alive. I haven't used any res yet. But yeah, ideally, I'm not even using I'm not using my super armor apples. This will be much easier with super armor apples. I would not be taking this much damage. You still would. You'd still be taking a lot of damage, but yeah. Next mech is at 150 bars. Ouch. Ouch. Even if you reach the threshold, he's still going to finish his attacks. So let him finish that. Okay, so the easiest way to clear this, okay, rocks is where he's going to summon map-wide rocks everywhere, and you have these cross lasers to delete them. You're going to do this like they do it in the party team play. You're going to follow me exactly. So very first position is that standing on the top of that platform. Then you're going to go to here on this side. These rocks really hurt, these lasers, so kind of dodge the lasers, and then you got to go down here and be here. Takes a while for them to respawn though, thankfully. And then your next position is going to be at the corner of this one here, okay? And that should get rid of all of them on the map. You do not want any lasers stuck, or it's going to be a wipe. Generously in solo mode, you get more than 4 lasers. In normal mode, you only get 4 lasers. So that's why everyone does that specific spots. But otherwise, if you did miss any rocks, you still have 2 more lasers to use. Just dodge them. Make sure you don't get hit, because as you saw, they really hurt. Like, look at this. Ow. And you will end up dying, because this is unavoidable death yet again. You won't use any res titles. Res titles will not proc in these sort of ultimate attacks, so you gotta be careful. Okay, and then he's going to be groggy again. Down he goes. Remember, your wind orbs. You have wind orbs. It makes life so much easier. Grind. Get that damage. We know most of his general mechs, so we're going to try and like damage as much as we can and get to the next major mech, which is going to be 50 bars. Okay, Night Emperor spawn, so this one's going to be middle. I'm going to actually dodge that, so I don't get the debuff, and I'm going to just stand really close to him because he body blocks you, and then I have to save him, because if you don't save him, he's going to explode. But now I don't have the freeze debuff either, because otherwise if I get hit when he does that kind of like howl, that's what gives you the freeze debuff. Okay, we're going to body block, not body block, damage all this, sorry. I'm still stuck on that Night Emperor thing. Okay. And now we're at the 50 bars. So this one, the 50 bar mech, is what we call matching. Fun! So literally all you're doing is matching numbers. Quite enjoyable. There's going to be a lot of numbers. You're going to want to kind of react quick. I don't know how much time you have. The only other issue is going to be lightning strikes that summon. Literally pick a number up with your F1 and then match it with you know, the other numbers. Don't get hit by the lightning, or that is going to be a very strong debuff for physical and magical attack power that you will receive for 60 seconds. So it's quite crappy. I don't recommend getting that because you're going to have very weak attack power for 60 seconds. Make sure you don't match the wrong numbers together or it's going to be a wipe. So make sure you know what numbers you are matching. I don't know how much time you have with this mech, but still do it decently cautiously. You don't want to get hit by the lightning after all. The lightning could also kill you if you just don't have enough HP. Oopsie. Okay. Make sure you reawaken. Get your buffs up if you have any. Wait, make sure he goes out of hyper armor. Throw a wind orb. He's going to be down for a bit. I do the best damage down here. So I'm going to really get him down. You can run away from this orb, but it's literally not going to stop until it catches you. So yeah, you can't run away from it for very long. Okay, so at, when he reaches 0 bars, he's going to do what we call Berserk. Is that still going to go off? Yes, it does. Dang it. I shouldn't have run away from that. Anyway, he's going to do 3 waves of slashes. Just dodge them. And then he's either going to breathe from below or above. So he went down, so that means he's breathing from above. Stay below. Follow whichever way he goes. And then just stay there. Okay, and then he's going to go down. And you have about 10 seconds to do as much damage to him before he does it all over again. Most people can usually one-shot this, but you know, for the sake of science, I won't. You can get some good practice here dodging your slashes. So yet again, like I said, 3 rounds of slashes. They're completely random. Just try and dodge them because they hurt. Pretty simple. And he's flowing down, so down is the safe zone because he's going to fly back up. You can still damage him, by the way, so I could still damage him from up here and stuff. He still takes damage from over here. Not a whole lot, but he still takes damage. Got to get every piece of damage you can get. And then he's going to go groggy again. And then literally just kill him. Pretty simple. Ta-da! Congratulations! You've just done the entirety of Doom Raid. Easy. Now, let's gloss over some things that I ended up missing. Usually that might take you like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes as well. Between there. Okay, let's go back to our lovely trusty browser to see what we missed. So yeah, like I said, destroy the devices. You'll get bombs that do massive damage to the devices. Avoid the lightning, the tail swipes, the lasers. I feel like I explained that very poorly. But yeah, you can also fall off everything, by the way. Here you go. Here's the rock patterns here. This is a very bad picture. But yeah, the very top left, controller up here. Device, the very top left device up here for the rocks. This middle device, the left and right side, and then the very bottom corner down here. This is the tracking spear. But yeah, you just have to be on the spots. The triple claws, the red spheres, breath attacks. I think I explained all those pretty well. Which one did I explore? Here we go. This is what I wanted to show you. So what happens if you end up going in the middle and getting the orb? You get this F1 discharge and you have to literally like teleport, like not teleport, you can't teleport, you're not Aisha. You might be, you might not be. But you have to kind of go away and discharge it far away from the actual absorb pattern and just stare back and absorb it again. But yeah, you clear it once you get, once it does the absorb mech like 4 times usually. But you don't need all 4 stacks of debuffs as far as I'm aware, because even I've only got like 3 stacks and I've still been able to clear it. But yeah, basically as long as you avoid making a whole wide map discharge, because otherwise if this discharge does hit this absorb, it's going to spread and it's going to be a wipe. It's going to kill you. But yeah, there's rocks and stuff. And there's the Roman numerals mech again as well. But ideally you don't really need to know if these are like numbers. You just need to kind of match it with the picture. So it's not as hard, genuinely. But yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, if you have any questions... Oops. If you have any questions or anything that you'd like to ask me, feel free to leave a comment in the description. I'll definitely read them and reach out. But otherwise, I really hope this guide has been helpful. Anyone can also tell me if I made any mistakes. I'm doing this all from memory, so there could be some things I've forgotten, but otherwise this was the best in depth I could do. Sorry that it's still very long, but I wanted to try and cover as much as I could. But let me know if you ever get stuck on anything, and I can help the best I can. And happy learning! Best of luck! Thank you so much!